Well, good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to see such a packed audience for this really important conference, which is about, I think, demonstrating both the interest, the optimism, but above all, the ambition of Croydon. We see outer London as being a major driver of the London economy, and Croydon is central to developing an economically strong London. Even now, when there is limited funding available, the Mayor feels that Croydon is such an important location, has such strategic importance for London's future, that he's been prepared, despite having most of his budgets cut, to invest in making sure that there is a good opportunity area planning framework for Croydon. We're not having to start from scratch. I mean, Croydon has a huge number of things going for it already on which we can build. Croydon Town Centre is already a strategic office location behind only central London and Canary Wharf. It has London-wide recognised higher education facilities, the Brit School and Croydon College. The Town Centre and Purley Way provide the largest retail offer outside central London, and it has great connections with mainline trains, tube and tram links. And having come down here myself from Victoria, I can testify to how quick and easy that journey is. We're fortunate that in Croydon Council we have a very dynamic and proactive local authority with which to work that doesn't need to be asked to play its role. The purpose of the Opportunity Area Planning Framework, though, is to take this town centre area and see what can be achieved from it. So we are examining the potential to accommodate in the region of 8,000 new homes, provide approximately over 2,000 new jobs, further large retail development, a significantly improved public realm and built environment, all within a relatively small area. The purpose of spatial planning is actually to provide momentum and guidance and direction, and above all, certainty, so that you know what you can expect in terms of the planning, of the regulatory framework, and can take investment decisions in confidence that your plans will be supported and backed up.
But that's the question, can Croydon be sexy? Well, my planning team are sexy, obviously, and here they are, standing on a windswept rooftop. But there is an image issue, and we know that there is a brand separation between how we perceive ourselves, those of us who live and work in Croydon and know the borough and know all its richness and its diversity and in parts its beauty and its wealth as well. There is a disconnect between us and the external perception. And I think in terms of brand, it is very, very complex. What we can't do is just tell a story that doesn't match our reality. But I do think we need to learn in Croydon how to represent our reality. And I think we need the help of the private sector in doing that, which is why I so much welcome this conference today and the fact that it is private sector led and private sector driven. Croydon has to face up to the fact that the reasons why we missed the last economic wave, the economic cycle, were largely down to us. We've got nobody else to blame. And we missed it for a number of reasons, and I think we've learned the lessons, but I want to spell out what they were. The first is that we were over-ambitious. We weren't realistic about what was the art of the possible. There's no problem with ambition, but if your ambition stretches beyond what the private sector can respond to, then what it leads to is stasis. Second, we made some poor decisions about which developments we were going to back and which developers we were going to back. And that led again to stasis and sites not being developed out at a time when values were high and that development could have happened. And the third was inflexibility, that at times, even when the evidence was very clear that we needed to move in a particular direction, there was a stubbornness that again defied reality. I don't think things are like that in Croydon anymore. I think over the last 3 years we've proven that we are now flexible, we're open for business, and we're extremely professional in the way that we deal with planning applications and relationships with developers from pre-application onwards. We have disentangled the legacy of our past. The job of the local state, with the support of the Mayor, TfL, and other statutory bodies is really to enable development, particularly in terms of the way that we invest in infrastructure. And then we must allow the market to deliver the development that the market will sustain. We will be making maximum use of the new borrowing options that were talked about in the Local Growth White Paper by Vince Cable and Eric Pickles just a few weeks ago. We will embrace tax increment financing. We will embrace greater flexibility that we expect to come in terms of utilisation of local business rates. We will embrace community infrastructure funding. And we will, of course, benefit from the new homes bonus scheme and look for opportunities to recycle some of that dividend back into more improvements in infrastructure and public realm. And stuff is already happening on the ground. And that's why I think those who said that now is the right time to invest were right. Through Croydon's own urban regeneration vehicle between Croydon Council and John Lang, the Public Service Delivery Hub is coming out of the ground. In fact, there's piling works going on at the present time. And we're already doing the design work for the Taberner site, and that tower will come down in 2013 to be replaced by a mixed-use scheme which is being designed by Make Architects. We've secured the deal with Network Rail for a £26 million investment on East Croydon Station, and this is about the local authority, again, stepping up to the plate, in that we are providing £6 million of that investment. Berkeley Homes are already on site at Wellesley Square. We heard about the Barrett scheme at Purley, the ILO Tower. The cranes are here. The building is already happening, but there are many more opportunities for those developers who want a piece of the action. So finally, why will things be different this time? Well, I think the level of ambition is there, but now we're more realistic about what can be delivered. We're less arrogant in saying that we know best, and instead are saying to the market, you tell us what the art of the possible is, and we will help you by enabling that development to happen. We recognise in Croydon that we can't do everything by ourselves. We need a strong relationship and a strong partnership with the London Mayor. And that's one of the reasons why Croydon is supporting the Mayor's proposal for a single London-wide LEP for Greater London. Because actually, the boundaries, these borough boundaries that you see on this map, at the end of the day, they're absolutely artificial. London stands or falls together in terms of our economic prosperity. And let's face it, we're not short of land and opportunity in Croydon. And we recognise that there is no way that the public sector can achieve this turnaround by itself. This has to be primarily driven by the private sector.